Come hang some vintage decor with me. You guys may remember I found these at a flea market for $8 for the set of 3. And the tag says mid-century. I think they're mid-century. They were made in the USA. But I'm doing my best at reading Roman numerals, and I swear it says 1997, and that cannot be right. Is it possible it's saying 1979? They're giving late 70s, early 80s to me, but I'm sure you home interior gals will let me know. So let's get to hanging. I think that I have decided that this place right above my sink will be the best, centering one in the middle of the window and with the light, and then putting 2 on each side. Ever since we moved into this house, I feel like there's something missing up there, and with everything else being so busy with decor, it's definitely an area that needs something. I decided I am going to ask very nicely if my husband will hang them for me. But if I have everything ready to go and I have them marked and everything, he can just come in and do it and it won't be difficult. And he's much more likely to help me out if he knows exactly what he's supposed to do. Here is a reminder of what the 3 look like. Since this one's really tall, I feel like it should go in the center. And then since there's red on this side, I thought I would move that red over there. That way they're not like right next to each other. And then put this one on this side. But let's get to hanging. Once I was cleaning them thoroughly, I realized that are those called alligator hooks, were not all in the same spot. So I had planned on just putting 3 dots for nail holes, and that is not going to work because they're different heights. So this is a bigger job than I thought it was going to be. But I took one of my sticky dots and I put it on it just to kind of eyeball it so he'd have an idea of about where I wanted it so he could start measuring accordingly. And if I do say so myself, I eyeballed this very well, and maybe I should have just used sticky dots. I wanted to center them in the middle to make them more of a statement, and so I thought about 2 or 3 inches from each side. The pieces themselves were also different heights, so it proved to be challenging. And this is, I think, why he scoffs when I ask him to hang things.
Good?
Mm-hmm. So my casual was definitely my reaction to already feeling like maybe they don't look very good. I seriously sat here one evening and just stared at them for like half an hour. I think it's just too big of an area, and so I thought, well, what about over this door? I've been wanting to take that sign down and I didn't know what to replace it with, so maybe the vegetables are a good idea. And I liked it so much better. The small pieces just looked odd over the big window, and this really fits in well. I think it's a really nice pop of color in that corner. I think they're going to stay there. But thanks for coming along, guys. Come to an estate sale with me. My sister and I were out for the day shopping, and we saw signs for an estate sale. And today it's 50% off. Let's get to it. I have actually been to this venue before. I believe they just take the items and then they sell them for the family. I made a beeline directly to the Christmas stuff, of course. I saw this vintage-inspired tray. I don't know that I need another tray, but today it's only $1, and so even if it's just for you guys, I had to go ahead and get it. They didn't have a lot of Christmas stuff otherwise. Then I saw these books. This Barbara Stanwyck one is right up my sister's alley. I grabbed it for her. I grabbed this other Films from the 40s book for only $1, and she and I both cleaned out this entire movie book section. I debated the owl for $4, but he looked a little angry, so I moved on. And this $6 frame was super neat. I had actually decided to get it and take the leaf out, but then the leaf had like a story to it, and so I just decided to leave it. I don't need any bad luck coming home with me. There were some greeting cards. They had 2 bags. I wasn't sure what was in each one, but my sister wanted one and I wanted one, so we grabbed them for $1.50. They did have some really neat vintage Valentine's ribbon, but I don't really use a lot of ribbon at Valentine's time, so I decided to leave it for someone else. This frame, however, it was only $1. It came with the box, and it was really sweet, so I decided to grab it. This color of brown, it just calls to me. There is a purse that I've been eyeballing that's just like this. This one is vintage and real leather, only $12.50, so I had to get it. It even went with my outfit that day. I thought this tray was really sweet, but you can't really tell on camera. It was really, really dirty and scratched up, so I decided to leave it. This stocking you could definitely tell was older. Do you think that the dog's name was actually Dog? I'd like to think so, and they didn't just call him that. But moving on to these playing cards, I really like the ones on the right, but I am trying to find single decks. I did, however, find a nice spring edition for my magnet gallery for only 50 cents. And Miro cupcake tins are such great quality, and look how clean and nice this one was. $1.50? Absolutely, I will replace my cheap one for this. Then I found this Holly Hobby ceramic that I'm going to use on my kitchenette fridge. It will be so cute for the gallery. And we did look through the vintage board games, but there was nothing that I couldn't leave behind. The final item was this little hat. My sister talked me into it for $4. It's my color and it's a tiny top hat. I had to get it. Here is what my sister got real quick. The greeting cards, these 2 books. And then at some point, without me seeing, she even grabbed a Harry Belafonte record. I didn't even see the records. Oh, and she also got this frame because it's really neat shaped, so she's going to switch out the artwork. You can kind of see my items, so we put them in the same box. In total, I spent $24.50 and she spent $11.50. Not too bad for about $36. You want to see what's on these shelves? Let's check it out. I recently showed you guys our family room, which is kind of the alternate living room or the area that my kids hang out in most. And sometimes I forget that a lot of you are new here and you haven't seen this area before. So let's do a tour of my shelving unit. The main reason for the shelves was to have our entertainment pieces on here. We have like a subwoofer speaker over here and all of the gaming systems. And so I wanted to make sure that they were plenty tall. And also I like to be able to put bigger pieces on them as well. We will start at the top. I just displayed some of the random glass pieces that I have. I was inspired to do it in kind of a rainbow order. So we have dark purple all the way over to like that gold color. I found putting a framed greeting card back here really helped fill in that space. Next, this is an area that I keep all of our books. So I do have a lot of books that we want to save because we're big fans of them. But I, of course, also have these beautiful vintage pieces as well, amber being one of my absolute favorites. Moving down, you guys know I love vintage clocks. I thought this basket was so cute with these picks in there, and then the mini brass and tulip or otherwise amber pieces added. We have to make it functional as well, and so even though I want to keep these decor items on display, this is a very functional shelf for us. We have our books with just a decorative timer on top, which when my kids were little really served well as a timeout timer. But I got a cord keeper from Amazon and I put our Switch and our Xbox on this shelf as well and hide all the cords inside this box. On the bottom, I thrifted a magazine rack and I put a lot of my thrifted catalogs in there, specifically the how to paint books because I like to use them to frame artwork and I can display them in the meantime. Moving over to the other side, I finished the glass kind of vignette with greens moving into like a bluish teal. There was a ballerina piece from the 1940s that I added behind that has lots of greens and blues in it, so it felt right. Just below that, I knew I wanted to do a trinket shelf, but I hadn't purchased one yet, so I found this smaller one at the thrift store and I decided to set it on a shelf and kind of get it started on one. And so these are my original trinkets and my original trinket shelf that I kind of hodgepodged together with items that we had, but I love it so much that I have just left it like it is. I do have a copper lantern, another little bird artwork piece, and then I love this basket with the lid, but I wanted some greenery, so I just kind of had it spilling out over it. The doily really kind of finishes off the shelf. To balance the brass and amber from the other side, I put a larger one over here, and it kind of is mimicked in the artwork behind it, which I love. Some more books and some playing cards, a bridge, note keeper, and even some poker chips. I love using baskets to cluster items, but it also serves for organizational purposes. Moving down, we do have our subwoofer here with a couple more amber pieces, but I used my Lucille Ball book as a piece of art, just this fountain pen that I thought was really neat, more brass, and then I used this old bingo set for more decor. I lucked out and I thrifted the exact same style of magazine rack as the other side, and so this one also has old catalogs, old magazines, and how to paint books. Other pieces in this space, of course, my trinket shelf, some additional foil artwork, my Nancy Drew books, and a few Hardy Boys books at the bottom. You guys see this area all the time. I have a little bit of kind of a gallery wall kind of going. I do put some of our books down here, a plant, more books, a couple game pieces. This is our big like board game space, so I have a lot of those kinds of pieces throughout the room. And then I don't remember if I've given a tour of this area or not, but this is where we keep our board games in here. And on the other side, the top drawer is for our pool table and shuffleboard table. This is all of our like game systems, so extra headphones, cords, and everything else. And then in the bottom is other smaller board games. But that is it. When we get the kitchenette done, I will give you a big tour of this space. Thanks for coming along, guys. Come thrifting with me. I'm headed to one of my favorite thrift stores, and I haven't been there in 3 weeks. I mean, it's an unheard of period of time. I have donations to drop off today, so let's get to it. I did remember to bring my basket today, so hopefully I find some good things. After walking in, I did remember that they have a fall and Halloween section as well as a Christmas area. Right away, these 2 candles caught my eye. They didn't have a price on them, and I do have something similar, so I decided to leave them for someone else. For my May 1st baskets, I have been looking for smaller baskets. This one is for eggs, which is so awesome, but it was $3, and I make about 10 baskets, so I try to stick to $1 or $2 baskets, so I left that one behind as well. This copper pitcher to hang on the wall would be so cute with some greenery out of it. I think it will go great in my family room, so I grabbed it for $2. I'll be honest, I feel like this thrift store's prices are going up. That item was $3.50, and these, which look like Dollar Tree, were $2.50. I was feeling really discouraged. This was $2.50, and it had a huge chip taken out of it. I was recently told that these prices went up, and I'm seeing it now for the first time. I donated this last year, so I wanted to see what the price was, and $2.50. I'm surprised at that. I think I thrifted it for $1. This little bear that was dressed as a pilgrim was only 75 cents. I went ahead and got him for Thanksgiving decor. That is a good price. I debated getting this book. It was $1, and I thought I might frame that back page, but it's in really good shape, and I would hate to tear up a book that is still in good shape, so I left it for someone else. This was a cute little sugar container. I could really put it in my kitchen for decor, but I won't probably use it, so I chose to leave that as well. I was looking for a price and brand on this vintage Halloween hand towel. I would like to put some in my kitchen, but I had no luck, and so I just moved on. $2 for this cheesecloth I thought was a little high, but I moved on to the Christmas stuff. I know I sound really cheap. You guys just have to trust that I usually get really good deals. Like this $1 wood pedestal. Great deal. I went ahead and grabbed that. It's almost a good decorative item on its own. Then I found these acrylic ornaments. They were really interesting, like amber colors, some golds, some greens, and I think they'd be really cute on my mid-century tree. There were 4 total, so that is less than $1 a piece, so I talked myself into them. Here was a vintage Christmas towel, but unfortunately it had a huge stain, so I moved along. I am a sucker for ornaments. I really liked the 2 white balls in here, but I didn't need the whole bag, so I talked myself out of that as well. I already have some balls that are similar, so I will just use those. This was great ribbon, but it's burgundy and I use bright red, so I left that. And this one just really got to me. It was $10. It says they're vintage, which I'm going to guess is closer to the 90s or early 2000s. It's clearly a Walmart brand and originally $22. I just was really surprised at $10. I did, however, grab these candle rings. There were 3 for $1. Great price and very versatile for decor, so I'm excited about those. I decided to kind of go through the books to see if there was anything that was worn out that I could frame. No such luck there, but I did find this coloring book that was from 2002. I was so surprised. I felt like it looked so much older than that. I almost got it for an activity center, but I am going to hold out for ones that are maybe a little bit older. This Ralph's Rotten Christmas, he just made me laugh. Ralph is hilarious looking and maybe a little sad. Basically, I just decided it looked like maybe it was a sad story, so I moved on. Let me know if I should go back for Ralph. These angel ornaments are right up my alley. The amber colors, the gold, beautiful, only $1 a piece, so I grabbed both of them. Those will be so cute on my mid-century tree. They had put out their Christmas wrapping paper, and I have some pretty good vintage ones that I'm always looking to add to. It's always really hard to tell what is vintage and what is just kind of a cheaper material. Not having a grid system is usually a pretty good giveaway. Sometimes the date is also at the base. But this one felt so 90s to me, it just has to be, right? So I grabbed that one. This one I don't think is Christmas. It looks floral and it definitely looks aged as well. And so I decided to go ahead and grab that one. I don't remember the exact prices on these, but they were like $1, $1.50. And then this one also looks really 90s to me. It complements the other green one that I got. But we're almost at 5 minutes, so come back for part 2. There's even more items to get. Come thrifting with me. This is part 2 of a trip to one of my favorite thrift stores where I had just grabbed some gift paper. But as you can see, there's more to get, so let's get back to it. I lucked out and found 2 rolls of 1990s Christmas paper, and so I moved on to the tins. I thought this tin was cute. It did look a little bit older. It had a cowboy on the front, and so when it was from Corsicana, Texas, I wasn't so surprised. I have heard of their famous fruitcakes, but I was still surprised to see it. I probably need to inventory my tins before I get another one, so I decided to leave it. I did, however, find these acrylic starbursts that go over Christmas lights. Those would look so cute on my mid-century tree, so I grabbed them. And I thought that this was an ornament, but after I picked it up, I realized it was a small tree topper, so I put that back. We do host a couple of different Christmases, and one I do have to use a card table with a tablecloth. This will look so cute in the middle to put the salt and pepper shaker on and add a little bit of detail, but still be on the cheaper side. I am a sucker for older gift tags, and so I was looking through them to see if there were any. This set had some geese, so I feel like it's definitely late 80s, early 90s, and so for $1, I'm taking that home. Actually, I think it was only 50 cents. These were also 50 cents. I realize that they are Dollar General, but they are on the older side. I can tell by the logo. These will be so cute on my miniature Christmas tree in our primary bedroom, so I'm getting them. And that's when I came across more acrylic ornaments like the ones I had already grabbed. I talked myself out of them just because I had already grabbed a $3 bag, so I'm going to leave it behind. And speaking of bags, I did want to go through some of the bags. I do use them occasionally for awkward items. There were 2 that looked a little bit older to me, and one was 50 cents and the other one was oddly $1. So I decided to go ahead and grab the 50-cent one. The blue one doesn't really match my tree, so it's an easy way to talk myself out of it. Regular gift bags were 50% off though, and so I grabbed a whole bunch of 25-cent and 10-cent ones. We use them for a Christmas game. But also $6. I almost got those. And I also wanted to ask about these, but she was busy behind the counter, so I thought I would ask next time I go. In the Christmas area, I think these might be like biscuit cutters, but I loved the color of them, so I was debating them for a hot minute. But I decided I didn't actually have a use for them, so I left them for someone else. With the kitchenette being renovated, I am looking for organizational materials. I loved these off-white baskets, and they were great prices, so I had to go ahead and grab those. I believe they were both 50 cents. Over in the craft area, this is where they put all the Christmas bows. I am a sucker for this orangish color. It works so well with my main Christmas tree, so for 50 cents, I'm going to get the whole bag. Here was another one. I also liked the pale pink ones. The colored ones I can give to my daughter to use for her gift station or even give to my sister, so it's an easy thing to talk myself into. I looked through all of them and it seemed like I was finding at least 2 or 3 bows in each bag that I liked. So in those cases for 50 cents, it's just such a good deal. And there was even this little one for 10 cents that is more of like a mid-century seafoam green. So it's mine as well. I wanted to check for folded gift paper, but they had moved it all out. In the linens, they had another homemade hot pan holder that was dark gold. I'm a sucker for it, so I grabbed it for 50 cents. And in the games area, they had this briefcase. I was curious what it was. I was hoping chess, but it was backgammon, I believe. But it was missing all of its pieces, so I had to put it back. There was also a vintage aggravation. I'm not familiar with the game, and it was only $2. It looked kind of fun, but since I'm not familiar, I decided to go ahead and leave it for someone else. Before checking out, I did see this table, and you know that this was a gorgeous piece before someone painted it black. Maybe it had too much damage. I don't know. It's for $30 now, but what a shame. Overall, I did fill my red basket. I got 3 rolls and some gift bags for our game, and I spent $28.05. I was pretty pleased with this trip. Thanks for coming along, guys. Come to an estate sale with me. I was out and about and I saw a sign for an estate sale. It said prices tagged, so I'm not sure what the difference between that and a regular estate sale is, but I gotta give it a go. It is a Thursday, so that's usually the first day of an estate sale, so I expect the prices to be a little higher, but I am going to try it out anyway. Let's get to it. Right as you walk in the door, they did have some little trinkets. They were priced, again, like you would expect them to be for a first day. I know the next day they were half off, so they're going to put them as twice as what they should be. But I had to get the 2 frogs for $2 a piece and this little red mouse that was only $1. He would be so cute at Valentine's Day or even Christmas. As I walked into the house, I thought that this shelf was really cool. It was $15, which I thought was a fair price. Then I saw that they had a lot of postcards, and so I spent a lot of my time digging through those. I limited myself to 5 because they are $1 a piece, and so I had that cute deer one. There were a couple of other landscapes that I used for framing. I loved this one with the yellow trees. The lighting in the house was really, really poor, very dark, and so my phone did have a hard time adjusting, so I apologize. But I got that last one, the snow one, for the winter months. There was so much blue glass that was so beautiful. And in a built-in desk area, there were even more postcards. I looked through them, but I really liked what I had already chosen. The house itself was really neat, but a lot of spaces were very shadowed. So like I said, my phone was focusing in and out constantly. I love these coasters. They're just so small, and we just have these giant Stanleys and stuff. So I decided to leave it for someone else. The trivet was really cute, only $1 because it was missing a foot. And I wanted to get these little deer for my cousin's nursery. She's doing like a whimsical foresty type thing. But one had an ear that was broken and glued back on, and there were no prices on any of them. So I took it as a sign and I left them for someone else. I swear estate sales are the only place you can find stuff like this, like old calamine lotion in a glass jar. It's like going back in time. I thought this clock was really neat, but it didn't hang. It was a sitting clock. And there were so many neat pieces of artwork. This little room was super cute, a little bit creepy, a little bit ghosty. So I just wanted to show it to you guys, but I decided not to get anything in this room. I got so excited when I saw all of the perfume bottles, but unfortunately there were a lot of name brands, and so they were priced higher. If I was going to wear them, they would absolutely be worth the price, but since I'm just going to put it on a shelf, I just couldn't talk myself into any of them. Although there were some really, really neat shaped ones. That $7 one wouldn't fit on my trinket shelf, but it's super cool. Whoever lived here definitely took care of their things and was a collector. Then I found some handkerchiefs. I was going to try and limit myself again. I remember last Christmas I was trying to find Christmas handkerchiefs to work on a project, and so I grabbed 2 and decided that was enough. Thankfully, there were more perfume bottles with the other blue glasses, and so I found one for only $2. I really liked the lid too, so I was excited about it, and it'll go on my trinket shelf. They were only taking cash, so I limited myself, and so I got all of those items for only $14. Thanks for coming along. Come wrap a bridal shower gift with me. I love to thrift gifts, but I did go ahead and purchase items off of her registry. I appreciate thrifted items, but if someone has requests, I'm gonna listen to them. So she asked for those turntables. She also asked for this sponge holder. I wanted to get them out and show you guys, but not mess up the wrapping too much. There was also this dish rack that goes over the sink and some hot pan holders that I can't open without tearing it open. But to be true to myself, I am going to include some foaming hand soap and these thrifted hot pan holders. They are the best, and she will soon find out, I swear. These colors are not her colors, but I still think they would be cute placed on top as an embellishment. I don't have a box big enough for everything, so I think I'm going to wrap them as 2 separate gifts like this. But first, we got to go to my craft closet to get our gift supplies. In my craft closet, I have an entire gift area, and I thrift folded vintage gift paper all the time, as much as I can. I only have a couple of wedding and bridal shower papers because I am getting to a point in my life where a lot of my friends are already married. So when our younger cousins are getting married, I love to whip out this paper. I'm also going to grab some ribbon, and then this ribbon in my to be put away bag I remembered looks similar to the hot pan holder, so I'm going to grab that as well. It's always kind of a shame to open up this vintage paper, but also I love it so much. One sheet would easily fit around the turntables, and I'm going to add the hot pan holders on top of it just so it doesn't get lost in the mix. Again, I didn't have a box that would fit all of these items, so I'm trying to be creative in how I present them. You can't tell on camera as much, but the paper does have some blues and pinks in it, which I think will look really cute with the hot pads. This one wrapped pretty easily. The paper was great to work with, but that hot pad on top was creating a little bit of a bubble, but that's okay. It still worked out well. It'll serve as a buffer when I put this dish rack on top. But first, I wanted to make sure I had enough paper to also wrap the sponge holder, and I think it's going to work out perfectly. So I did go ahead and wrap this first, and the leftover remnants was the exact size for the dish rack. The dish rack was really the thing that was causing the most trouble. It's like 12 inches long, so I just didn't have a box that fit that awkward size. She will probably see her gift and know exactly what it is, but that's okay because, again, that's kind of what happens when you buy from a registry. But when you're making a new home, you have very specific wants and needs, and so I want to respect that. So here is the last item I'm going to wrap, and then I'm going to start working on embellishments and ribbons, which ended up being kind of a challenge. I didn't show you guys some of the struggles that I went through. I knew this rack would slide around even with ribbon, so I went ahead and put some packing tape on it just to kind of keep it in place, and I think I succeeded. I would like to fan these out on top with some ribbon, and that teal matches that middle one. This mid-century pink works great, so I really just wanted to find a green. The green lace looked like it matched, but it didn't. Only this yarn did, and it just didn't fit the vibe. So I basically decided the green one is just not going to be given. I'm going to stick with these two. They matched the wrapping paper better anyway. So easily, I knew I wanted to add the pink and the blue crisscross over the top of it just to make it more of a cohesive look. And again, both of these colors, you can't quite tell, are in the wrapping paper, so it really drew them out in person. The teal, I realized afterwards, was actually folded in half, but I left it like that because the crease was just so strong. I ran the one pads loop through the other so they would hang together. But before adding all of those details, I finished with the bigger ribbon pieces. This one was easy. I just put a bow on the soap and then put another teal ribbon around it. It looked so cute. Then I tied on the hot pads and it was time to pick out a card. I have this very sweet 1950s one, but the envelope was very yellowed. So I decided to put a hole through it and run it through the ribbon. I love the sweet little touch of the card on top. The teal and pink are giving 1980s and I love it. Thanks for coming along, guys.